It's the Digital Board Gamer here with our weekly review for August 11th through the 15th. This is our full second week of Summer of Games, so we'll have 7 full releases to look at. We have quite a few betas and then one pretty big update. Update here is Sea Salt and Paper. The Pepper expansion is now available, the extra pepper here. It just basically adds some event cards from my understanding. I'm not familiar with the expansion, but there's an update in case you played the game and want to jump back in because of the expansion. Our first beta game is Stem and Branch, a card upgrading style game. We're going to try to get majority. Now, one interesting thing about this, there's a standard and a cooperative version. I've completed my cooperative play. I'm still halfway through my standard play currently as recording of this. So on both versions of the game, cooperative and the competitive version, the game's really about these cards down here. You'll see there are lower level ones like this one snake. You see the symbol there on the left showing it's a 1 snake. And then there's like this guy who's a level 5 dragon. Basically through the game you're going to be upgrading these cards from 1 to 2. They're going to be changing colors. So as you see, snake 1 is a earth, but then snake 5 is a fire. So through some manipulation, upgrading with cards, these tokens as well, you're going to be upgrading them to level 5. In the cooperative version, you're trying to get the tokens on the board on the 5th one. And then if you do it right, you score more points if you actually use all the right steps, and so on. Then what I'm really excited for, Forest Shuffle Dartmoor, a standalone new version of Forest Shuffle. If you've played Forest Shuffle before, I think you can easily jump back in. There's some differences, obviously, that you'll kind of have to play through and learn. Biggest of them being the cave that each player has now. You'll see there's some locations here instead of trees that you can put cards under. Certain cards can only go underneath those new things, like this guy here can only go in that place, and then so on. So interesting take, new version of it. If you're interested in, it's a new way of exploring. You know, it's all got new combos, new things to find, new things to hoard and draft, and so on. Then we had Ahoy, an asymmetrical style game. So this is one of those games where each of you play a different race. There are 2, and then there are 2 other smugglers, I believe the 3rd and the 4th player. I only played the game 2 player, so I'm not familiar with the 3rd and 4th player are class-wise. All right, so in this game, this is the 2-player version like I played. So both, like I said, both factions are very unique. So you see it's dice-driven here. Sometimes the pips matter, sometimes it does not. Like the sail, you can put any dice there because you're always going to move 1 or 2. But the battles, it does matter, that kind of thing. So you see different actions are listed there. Similar to the other faction as well. The board looks kind of the same. You can get additional crew here, which do additional things. But then for the most part, these 2 factions are just battling it out for area control and then trying to get 30 points. Remind me a lot of Root because of how different the factions play. Then we had Moonlight, a 2-player only card area majority game. So you're going to be playing the best of 3 rounds. In each round, you're going to be adding cards on the board here. It'll slowly grow out from one spot. And you'll see one players are these bluer cards, with the other player are these white cards. But basically during your turn, you can either add another wolf, and you're building either a 3x4 grid or a 4x3 grid on the board. But I can either keep adding cards, or if I wanted to, if I'm the white player, if I have exactly the 2, I can override this wolf here and try to gain control. And basically whoever has the most control in each row will score points, and then whoever has these most moons here will also score points. And then you win the rounds and you go on. They had some powers down here. The loser gets a special power, whereas the winner gets an upgrade card. Overall, this one was pretty cool. Go ahead and check it out. Then we had Tekken, the board game. Now, I'm not 100% sure it says a demo, so I'm not sure if this one's going to go away, much like the Lord of the Rings game. This one is now just in crowdfunding, or going to be in crowdfunding here really shortly. So you see here we have 2 different characters, but the goal of really this game is the head-to-head battle, kind of like any other fighting games. Best to 3 rounds wins. On your turn, you're going to either be predicting what your opponent is going to be doing, or if you're on the offense, you'll be choosing one of the 3 cards in your hand and then putting it above your player board here. Eventually, they said you'll get to know the decks, and it won't be so much guessing, because right now it feels like paper, rock, scissors. Oh, it's either high, low, or mid. But they said eventually, once you understand the game, the deck a little bit more, you'll be able to predict what your opponent might do based on combos and whatnot. So if you're interested in Tekken at all or a fighting game, check out this one. Then we had Bebop. Bebop is a area majority, almost kind of reminded me of Go a little bit style game. So during your turn, you're going to add either one of these seats here, or you're going to add a colored dice onto one of the seats. So you see the colored dice here. And basically what you need to try to do is you're going to surround a stage. Once a stage is surrounded, not including this little special star ones, then you'll score this. And you score them based on the matching instruments that are touching. And then families of similar colors. So if you had all reds in a big group, even if I'm not touching this stage, but I have a red drum over here and there's all reds here, that red drum would score over here. It's kind of a little cool area majority control. There's some special tiles like this one that allow you to do special things. You do not actually fill up the whole board. So that was one thing in my first play. I was like, oh, we're actually not going to fill up the whole board. You only fill up part of it. But if you like area control style games, this one was kind of an interesting take on it. Then we had River Rats. River Rats is a cooperative poker style game. It is solo up to 4 players. So in this game, you're trying to beat the River Rat here. There's actually 2 of them. Once you beat one, then you have to fight the other. But what you're trying to do is he'll have a hand here, and you're trying to beat his best poker hand that he can make. There's some unknown information, so you don't know perfect, but you're going to be basically adding cards here, taken from the market, and going from there. There's some ways of unlocking jokers, making your hands a little bit stronger. Once you can get 5 debt on the rat, then he flips over, or then the next guy flips over, and then you have to delete all these cards in the next hand before you take 5 debt. I'm a fan for cooperative games, so this one was quite a bit of fun. It was an interesting take. I'm like, after playing it once, I think you can just play it with a regular deck of cards. I'm not sure. I haven't checked that, but it all looked like a pretty much regular set of deck of cards. So if you like that cooperative style game and you like poker maybe a little bit, check that one out. And then our last beta game is Trench. Trench is based on World War I trench warfare. It is a 2-player only abstract strategy game. Now in this game here, you'll see there are different pieces of different strengths. The higher stacked ones here are stronger pieces, or these ones here are a little bit lower. Think of them kind of like pawns. And the how to play area, I don't know if my computer is not updated or if anybody else has this issue, but I can't really see any of the pictures. But basically, you see different strengths move a little bit different directions. So it's kind of got a little bit of a chess feel as well in there. The good part about it is when you click on a piece, it does show you where it can move and attack. And once my opponent goes, you can see it'll show you in this yellow where his last movement was. So if you're kind of interested in this, like take on chess, take on World War I trench warfare, check it out. And then for our full releases here. First up, we have Coffee Rush. Coffee Rush is a resource management style game where you're rushing to complete all these orders around. Basically, during your turn, you're going to be moving your workers around here, collecting resources, and then hopefully finishing orders here. Completed orders go in a stack. You get so many, then you get some upgrades, and then eventually the game will be ended once somebody misses so many orders. One interesting thing about it is if I do really well around and complete like 2 orders or maybe even possibly 3 orders, those get added additional to my opponent's side. So they get a little bit of a rush of their own for me completing more than 1. Then we had Orapa Mine. Orapa Mine is another strategy deduction style game. In this game, you'll be shooting out lasers, a row or column of your choice. And then what will happen is you'll get a response, and based on your response, you'll get some clues about what it could have possibly hit. And you see you're trying to figure out where each piece is. So the basic gist is if I shoot out a laser on white, it would have hit this little white edge and bounce out here, and I would get that information. It's possible sometimes, like shooting the laser out B, it hit white and then go blue, hit here and then bounce all the way back, and that's why it's light blue, because it hit a blue and a white. So then you start gathering more information. So it's a head-to-head game. Go ahead and check it out if you like this little puzzle solving game. Then we had a very popular game, Castles of Mad Ludwig, come out. So in this game, the master builder will go first. They'll arrange the tiles around, and then they'll go last. So then your opponents will pick their tiles before you. So it's really interesting trying to figure out where to put the tiles. Okay, I know they really want this one. Are they going to pay this much? Are they not going to pay it? But I want this one, but I don't want to pay too much, so I'll try to put it towards the front, and then so on. So that's one really cool aspect about it. But then what you're doing is basically building a castle here. There are bonuses, adjacency bonuses that you're looking out for. Like here, this one scores 2 points for every hallway item and another purple item. So here he has 1 connection bonus, 2 connection bonus. So not only does he score 3 points here, but he also scores a bonus of 4. And then that's really the gist. There's some scoring bonuses at the beginning, and then there's some cards that you also will draw, and you get one at the beginning as well to try to score. So if you haven't heard of this game, or you've always wanted to try it out but haven't been able to play it physically, check it out now. Then we had Zookeepers, a family weight drafting game. The big idea behind this one, there's actually 2 ways of playing. I recommend probably playing the more advanced one, but you're basically trying to reach 6 species underneath your 2 zookeepers, and you're basically going to be drafting them from up here. You'll see there's resource cost. It's got a little bit of engine building by, if I take cheaper animals and put them underneath my zookeepers, when I do the resource action, which is drawing cubes, if I have more animals, I draw more cubes. Some of the cheaper animals that only give you 1 point aren't as bad because they do allow you to draw more cubes through the game. So if you wanted an easier family weight drafting game, check out that one. Then we had My Shelfie the dice game, a roll and write style game. So in this game, typical Yahtzee fashion, you can re-roll twice. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to mark off rows or columns. If you're able to get 3 in a row or column, you will score points. And if you're ever able to fill out the whole row or column, you actually will cross them out for your opponent. You can cross multiple things off a round. There is a wild, but be careful. You can only put 1 wild per color per turn. So like here, he couldn't use all 5 greens. So if you like that style, quick, light, dice rolling game, check it out. And we had Hoi Pho. I have to correct myself. It's a Vietnamese game, not a Filipino game. I made a mistake in my review. But it's a hand management card game. In this game, you're trying to collect contracts. The way you do that is at the end of the round, if you have the most money, you get it. And how you gain money is everybody's going to be playing cards per turn. You play 1 card down, and then you simply go across these actions to resolve it. Every card has a number, so you see here. Every card has a number. The highest card, you get the money listed on it, and there's first place money. If you're the second highest card, then you get second place money. And then if you're the lowest card, you get to do the action of the card. There are some ships which kind of mess with things a little bit. Sometimes even if you're the second highest card, you might resolve your action or whatnot. But overall, it's a pretty simple, light game. But I enjoyed that one. And then lastly, we had Kingscraft. In Kingscraft, it's basically a race. You're trying to defeat the king, I believe, to become the new king. The way you're going to be doing that is basically by leveling up. You're going to start weak, get new gear. Probably the coolest part about this game is you'll get gear, and if you get like these 2 items here, then later on you can upgrade to this helmet. And then if you can get this helmet and this helmet, then you can go down to this helmet and so on. And then as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, eventually you'll attack the king or go after the king. But you do have to be pretty strong and upgrade your gear. So it does give you a sense of like dungeon crawling, leveling up, that kind of thing, an RPG game. I played it in beta. I just didn't have time this weekend to make a video over it with all the videos every day. And from Pick of the Week, I'm going to go with River Rats. I was tempted to go the new Forest Shuffle game, but I picked drafting games quite a bit. But this one was quite a bit of fun and something I want to play again for sure. I just co-ops I enjoy. There's not too many on the site, so it's always cool when a new one comes out, and this one definitely has a little unique take. And there's an awesome solo version of it, so you can play it pretty easily to learn it that way. Then you can play with someone else if you want to tackle it. But, I mean, really, the solo version doesn't play any different, really, than the co-op version. So, well, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. As always, good luck and have fun.